Hi, I'm Deborah Sadler, and I am the author of the trilogy Words of the Temple, A New Humanity, which was written during COVID, and it is a positive cosmic message about where our planet is going. And throughout the trilogy, I use what I call the wisdom of Kryon. And Kryon is channeled by Lee Carroll and has been channeled by Lee Carroll for 35 years. And lately, in December 24 and in January 25, Kryon has been talking about the Indigo Children who are now coming of age. And in my first book, Words of the Temple, Working Toward World Peace and New Humanity, I write about the Indigos because I became aware of them many decades ago. So in here, in the book, on page 73, I write, I knew about the Indigo Children through the draft of a book on color by Nancy Tappe, who lived in Encinitas, when we had our art business. We worked with a local printer named Elroy Printing, owned by a woman named Anna, from the time we moved to Cardiff in 1977. In the early 80s, Nancy printed a draft of Understanding Your Life Through Color at Anna's print shop. She experienced the metaphysical meaning of color through her senses. Her book addressed the Indigo children who were just being born at the time. We were fortunate enough to get a peek at this seminal work. At the same time, Jan Tober and Lee Carroll were made aware of this work, and they wrote 3 books in the late 1990s on the Indigo children. In the early 1990s, when I began to study with Star Mother, she too taught us about the Indigo children. When I learned about Kryon in 2017, and then Lee Carroll and Lee's authorship of the books on Indigo children, I thought Jan and Lee must have learned about Nancy Tappe's work on color energies because they began their work in Del Mar, California back in the 1980s. When I finally began exploring Lee's website, Kryon.com, I discovered Nancy's name and reference. So I have been aware of the Indigo children since Nancy Tappe coined the term in the mid-1980s. And then when I studied with Star Mother, who is the Atiatish of the Ahashimum people, who are the people who built the mission at San Juan Capistrano, she's the spiritual leader, I learned about the rays of the rainbow and the meaning the Ahashimum gave them. And for the Ahashimum, indigo means total and absolute transformation. It is to remake, remodel, and remold what existed into something much greater. And the Indigo children are here, and now they're adults, to bring about this total and absolute transformation. And we knew in the 1980s that these children were being born and that they were coming here for a purpose. And what Kryon's been speaking about in December 2024 and January 2025 is that the emergence of the Indigos, and in that they are coming of age, is going to be something that is going to create what I would call miracles. So the Indigos came in with a higher frequency. They came in with a sense of mastery. And Lee likes to point out that they came in and a lot of them had ADHD and ADD. And the answer that the adults had was to medicate them so that the adults could better manage them. So the Indigos are people who are probably 45 and younger, maybe 50 and younger, and they are moving into positions of leadership politically and in terms of our business organizations. And they are here to remake, remodel, and remold everything that exists right now. And what Kryon has been talking about lately, and he's been saying it all along about the Indigos, is because they have a higher consciousness, and because they're coming in with mastery, and because they're coming in with the purpose to remake, remodel, and remold everything, total transformation of humanity into a world that works for everyone. The time is coming now for them to step into these positions of power. And so this is a message of hope, Kryon was sharing, that the emergence of the Indigos are going to bring to humanity solutions where we've only had dysfunction. And right now, if you look around the United States of America, there is nothing but dysfunction. And so these younger people are here to just take on the dysfunction and create solutions that those of us who are older cannot come up with because we don't have the consciousness and we don't have the mastery. And that is part of what the work of the words of the temple is about and why it's called a new humanity, because humanity is changing. The DNA in us is awakening. We have 24 chromosomes, not 23, and the 24th pair of chromosomes is intuition, and it is where our divinity lies, and it is awakening. So Kryon really shared in his February 15th channeling that there is so much hope because of the emergence of the Indigos, and they will be coming in and providing solutions that from our perspective look like miracles because we just could not come up with them until this time. So just know the Indigos are coming. They're going to be creating solutions for us. Everything is moving into unity consciousness. The light is going to continue to shine on what the dark is up to and to expose it, because really their time has come and their time has gone. And they are overstaying their welcome, and they really are not going to accomplish anything that they hope to. And that's because the Indigos are going to step in, and they are going to stop the nonsense, and they're going to create solutions that create a world that works for everyone. So I want you to take that into your hearts, and I want you to keep your vibration high, because that's how we defend. And do not stay in fear. Fear is all the dark has. So just live your life. Live it in gratitude. Be grateful knowing that our young people are going to be stepping forward today, tomorrow, and every other day. And they are going to bring an end to the nonsense and create, as I mentioned earlier, a world that works for everyone. Have a great week.